What is going on, y'all? Today I'm going to be back testing. Today I'm going to be starting on June 2023, and I'm going to start making this a series. So I'm going to try and hop on at least a few times a week. Start off on a 50K account and just back test through 2023. So we're going to be starting in June 2023. I'm going to be journaling all my trades as I go through. Just kind of going through my thought process, how I personally journal, and what I'm looking for in all of my trades, all that good stuff. As I said, we're going to be starting in June of 2023. Ooh, not January, June 2023. We'll start on the second week. Why not? All right. And then we'll do about, I don't know how long the series is going to last, but hoping for it to be good month or two. So I'm going to be trying pumping out some backtesting videos every week. That just made me reset all this. Give me 1 second here. This will probably be sped up though. And June 2023, bang. All right, throw a year forward and banger. All right, so for my journaling, I'm going to be using this template. It is very similar to Ronan's template. It just has my own little twist on it. So you click Journal Plus, and I do journaling a little bit differently. So I kind of use this icon to show what session I'm on. So like you can see, these are all my icons from different sessions. I just go through, I pick an icon that I'm feeling. So like today we're going to use the bananas, right? Because I've had 3 bananas so far today. We're going to use this bananas emoji, and I try to title the pages last. Throw in the date. So the date is going to be, let's see. Okay, so we're going to be starting on Monday the 12th for price action. So I go June 12th, 2023, and it throws that in for me. And then today is the Monday in June. I know I'm recording this on a Monday in June too, but like I go through the actual day of the day that I'm back testing, and then start on the high time frame. So what are we doing on the daily? Daily looks like we're at all-time highs. No, we're not at all-time highs. All right, so we are turning pretty bullish. We did just hit this weekly gap, but still looks pretty bullish to me. ES looks like it has a huge new week opening gap, but still continuing to go higher. Weekly objective looks like it's just going to be pushing higher. We do have this unmitigated weekly down here, but I'm not showing too much concern because it looks like we are still very, very, very bullish on the daily time frame. And it looks like we already hit it over here too, so it shouldn't be a big deal. If we didn't hit it, we're distributing out of this daily gap anyway. So there's that line. Onto the 4 hour, we do look very bullish right here. Disrespecting bearish and respecting bullish. ES is a little bit weird. Oh, they had a contract switch today. Okay, so that makes sense. ES contract switch today, NQ contract switch tomorrow. So it may not be the best price action, but still gonna be looking for something more than likely bullish here. Scaling down to the 1 hour. Still, we are respecting bullish up here. So really, I'm just gonna be looking for a bullish setup ideally. So into the journaling part of this. If you don't want to watch the journaling part of this, I wouldn't recommend watching this series. But I always start off and I take screenshots of the daily bias. So what am I looking at? And then I just go in here and I paste my daily bias high time frame. So I go through the 1 hour and the 4 hour for my high time frame. If the daily is very important, I'll throw in the daily. But like today, it just seems like we're in an uptrend. So I'm not too worried about throwing in the daily right there. Then I go to the 30-minute. Same thing over here. Normally I'll have some key levels marked out, but today, since there's a contract switch, I'm mostly just going to be reactive to price because I don't really expect to get a trade today or tomorrow. Just simply because of the fact that we have a contract switch. Like if you look at this, we've just been going sideways for 2.5 days now. So I don't expect too much out of this day, but we will see. And then for my low time frame, I always just go to the 5-minute because the 1 minute doesn't really affect much pre-market. So I always just throw on the 5-minute onto the daily bias low time frame and I write out what I'm looking for. So today I am leaning more bullish here, but not expecting anything. I would like to see an open low into a 15-minute plus with a strong inversion up, but again, gonna be reactive. Contract switch being today for ES and tomorrow for NQ takes away some conviction, but overall, if we get a setup, it will more than likely be with a bullish bias. All right, so now we come into the backtesting segment of the day. Again, what am I looking for? Really just any continuation higher. Disrespecting bearish, respecting bullish leads me to have a daily bullish bias up to something higher. So put in a nice 930 wick, trades lower. Do we tap into anything? I would like to see a high time frame gap get tapped into. We do have this unmitigated 1 hour lower. I'm gonna mark this one out, and we do not have an unmitigated gap any lower on ES, I don't think. Let me see. The only thing I would be looking for is either this intermediate low, and if this doesn't give a reaction, then I would be waiting for this intermediate low down here. So let's just continue watching. Could also take a count short down to there because we are high time frame bullish, but still low time frame bearish. We still need that manipulation. This is textbook, like really nice low time frame structure. You have your accumulation, you have your stop rate, you have your strong inversion, you have a nice 930 wick to go target. But what are you doing high time frame? Well, not a whole lot. We're not really distributing out of anything. Yes, we took this 15-minute intermediate low, but what is ES distributing from? I wouldn't really take anything like this. I would wait for it lower, but let's see if it plays out. It does not play out. Oh, you get an SMT'd stop rate, and then you get this now. Again, wouldn't really want to be taking anything. I know ES does have a key level now, but it's more so like an NQ lack of a key level. There's nothing really too significant to me here. Like, we just edged. This would be a lot better of a place for manipulation. And it's probably gonna be a 30-second gap that I missed the entry to anyway. We don't even have a 30-second gap actually. Do we have 15 seconds? No, 15 second either, yeah. So I do think this will play out, but I'm not gonna take it. It's just not high probability enough for me. We just kind of start chopping around up here. Whole lot of nothing going on. Generating LR at your stop now, so I would be waiting for probably 10 a.m. to open at this point. All right, so 10 a.m. opens a little bit lower, and then we start to displace higher. Finally take that key level on NQ. I would like to see remanipulation from ES at this point because we've just kind of done a whole lot of nothing. Oof. I don't love this SMT here because we just accumulated and generated a ton of LR down here. I know we did sweep this out, but this is still considered LR. Even though we SMT'd it, I'm still not 100% confident in it because ES, like, that's just a much better level of distribution that we just edged by, let's see how many points, like, probably not even a point though, to be honest. It's probably super close. Yeah, by half a point. Like, I would be waiting for this key level to get hit. Even though I do think that this will play out, like, at least to a break even, because you just take these highs, go break even. I don't think it's worth putting risk on the table because I think we'll just get something better in a second here. So it would have been break even, assuming that you go break even at these highs into this higher time frame gap. But then it does play out. I'm just really looking for ES to go hit this line down here to go take anything. We did just hit that. At this point though, do we have like an open 5-minute down here to go take a cont? What time do we tap that? So we tapped this at 10:31. It's now 10:38. Do I want to be taking something like this? I do like this displacement. We do, I don't know if we took this high. Do we take this high? Doesn't look like we took this high. If anything, we made equal highs with it. And then we have this nice swing up here. ES structure looks a lot better, but also at this point, I'm not 100% that I would want to be taking this live market. This would really be down to like how the week is going, to be honest. Like, if I'm coming off a few losses, I probably wouldn't be taking this, but if I'm coming off a few wins, I probably would. The only thing I really don't like about this setup is that we're closing inside of the accumulation zone. So something that I've kind of found out more recently is that if you have a candle closure inside of your accumulation zone for your inversion, it's a lot lower probability, even though you have the stop hunt. Here we don't technically have the stop hunt, and I would still want to go see this 5-minute get tapped. So just a few more cons and pros for me, and for that reason, I'm not going to go take this. Let's see. It does play out though. I don't really hate the trade, but I'm not really convicted enough to take it. I mean, as you can see, like if you were to take this one failed out of the 5-minute, this one failed out of the 5-minute. I mean, yes, this one's higher probability because now ES has a spotted distribution, but still, I would just want to see this 5-minute get tapped again and then an obvious manipulation leg rather than, you know, just a little bit of a wick or an SMT and a tiny little wick inside of the 5-minute that we haven't touched for 8 minutes. But continuing on here, doesn't look like we're really going to get anything else here today. We could end up tapping this 5-minute, but at this point it's end of session. So how do I journal a no trade day? First off, I start off with titling NTD, standing for no trade day. I take a picture of so here's my journaling template. So I've added in my daily bias, my pre-trade, and then all of this stuff that already comes with Ronin, any notes, any psych, and then, you know, just some like confirmation confluences, and then high time frame post trade. So this is only if I take a trade. If I want to draw out a skeleton for the day, I have the skeleton right here. I won't be drawing out the skeleton in this series though. It's going to take a little bit too long. And then the notable observations. So anything that was notable about this trade that stands out and the improvements that I can make. So like, for example, if I took an avoidable loss, why did I take the avoidable loss? If I'm unsure of something, I write it down. What can I improve on? But today, no trades. I wouldn't tape read any of those either, just because of the fact that I wasn't really a huge fan of them. Like if I was convicted in them, but it just didn't have enough confluence, I would be tape reading. But for me, tape reading, I look at more of like, I would take this live market and I decided not to. Those, I don't think I would be taking any live market. So just take some screenshots here. As you can see, we had high time frame chop for the most part. We did interact with some key levels, which is nice, but still nothing too amazing. For anybody on Mac, it's going to be a little bit more annoying to go journal trades. I don't really know how their screenshots work, but for me, I just click Windows Shift S and I bring up like this nice little template. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it brings up like this nice little template for me to screenshot everything with. And so I just take a screenshot and include it down here. And then we hop on to the 1 minute. And when I'm on the 1 minute taking the low time frame pictures, I like to make sure I'm including 930. So I always try to put my cursor somewhere around 930 just so I can see where both assets opened up. So right here, let's get everything in the picture, and 929, perfect. All right, take that. And for a no trade day, that's all it takes, you know. Takes an extra 2 minutes, and I think it's very worth it because for me, I know that I start to get FOMO if I don't journal any trades, and I'm like, you know, I could have taken so many trades here, but I don't even have the data now, and like whatever, right? So I personally really like to go just journal my no trade days anyway, and then it's always good to look back on like, why didn't I take a trade here? You know, was it a trade that I could have taken? Was it this? Was it that? Whatever. All right, so coming into this day on the 1 minute, first thing I notice is this huge data wick at 8:30. You can tell it's data just because it's 8:30 with a huge wick. Like 90% of the time, if you see this, probably 95% of the time, if you see this, it's going to be data. I will check the news thing right here though, just to make sure. Yep. CPI right here. So nice little CPI day. Let's start on the 4 hour though, see what we got going on. So we did just tap into this new week opening gap with data, tap into this 4 hour data. So if we do start to get a reaction out of that, I'm going to consider it protected, which, I mean, it is CPI, so you are going to get a reaction regardless, but just, you know, based off structure here, taking CPI out of the equation, I do really like this data wick being protected here. I don't think we need to trade back to it because, again, it took a lot of liquidity, and I really like how Cam puts this, ICT Cam. You got to take into account what the data wick did. Like, if this wasn't a data wick, I would be very convicted in this being protected. So just because it's data doesn't really make me any less convicted in it being protected. And for that reason, I'm going to be looking for longs here, probably back up to external. On the daily, do we have a draw in mind? Nothing close on the weekly. Probably just coming up to these weekly highs right here. So we'll mark these out. Previous week high right here. And let's see if ES has anything. Probably trending up to these previous week highs. I'm sure there's something on the daily, but I'm just gonna mark out that previous week high. All right, so let's get into the journaling aspect. Journal. We're gonna do the same bananas because, as I said, I like to just journal what session I am. So like if I'm taking 4 losses in a session, it's more than likely gonna be the session and not the strategy, because emotions do play a big part regardless of, you know, what you're thinking. Even if you're thinking logically, like even if you believe you're thinking logically, a lot of the time, if you see consistent losses and then every other session you're winning, it's more than likely going to be that you were just in the wrong headspace of backtesting that day, and that shouldn't really take away from the data that you've collected and like your confidence in the charts if you had one bad session. All right. Hopping onto the 5-minute here, take a screenshot. We did take this data high, that's why I'm not too concerned about it, because it's already liquidity that's gone. And then for the date, it is a Tuesday and it's June 13th. So put the day in Tuesday, it is June 13th, 2023, and the month is June. All right, so same thing, looking bullish to previous week high on NQ and ES data, but it's protected because it swept liquidity and gave a strong reaction. CPI was today, contract switch of ES was yesterday, and switch of NQ was today. Expecting something lower into the 30-minute below, and then getting a continuation out of it to previous week high. All right, let's see what we get presented with. Okay, so we trade into that 30 off open. I would want to see ES have more of an accumulation zone, because right here we did technically add to it, but this is just kind of targeting like high resistance right here. Like there's no accumulation zone, so I would like to see more of an accumulation here. If not, we could end up trading back down to data. Okay, so we get this. I'm gonna hop on the 30-second just to see if we get better structure on the 30-second. Wouldn't want to be on the 15-second yet, though. It's not A+ enough structure. So we do get this. There's probably a 15-second down there, but even if there is, I'm not gonna be taking it. Yeah, there is this 15-second. We'll see if we do get this. Yeah. Do I hate it? No, I really like this accumulation on the 15-second, but it just got swept out instantly by this 930 wick. Like we hop on the 30-second. This is not gonna really be high resistance, but it's more high resistance than all this accumulation. But I do kind of like to think about trading like this. What's more protected, my stop loss or my take profit? Well, right now, if we hop on the 5-minute, we have this 5-minute we tapped into, which led us down to this 30-minute, and then we're getting a reaction out of this 30-minute. On the 30-second, I don't really love this structure, but I don't hate it either. I like this 15-second structure a lot, though. I know I said I wasn't going to take a trade on the 15-second, but we do have 2 obvious swings leading up to this 5-minute gap tap. We're getting a reaction out of this 30-minute. Probably going to end up being bullish. Nice stop hunt here. Do we have an SMT? No SMTs anywhere. We have an SMT right there, but that's kind of disregarded because we already took that. I really like this structure. ES doesn't look bad. I don't know. I said I wouldn't take a 15-second. Let me see the RR. I'm going to be going down to this just because I think if we return to here, we're going to return all the way. Okay, I don't hate a 1-to-1 right here. I'm not going to lie. I think this 15-second will play out. Oh, I'm very iffy about this. There's no 30-second on either of these. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. All right, so how do I journal my high time frame pre-trade? If it's only like 2 minutes in the market like this is, I really just take a picture of the low time frame because nothing's really changed since pre-market. Like we literally just printed 1 candle. Oh, didn't mean to put that high time frame. We've literally printed like 1 or 2 closed 1-minute candles. So I'm just going to include the 1-minute here and the 15-second and the 5-minute, because those are the only time frames that have really been affected here. Gonna be break even at that 5-minute intermediate high, just because of the fact that it is, you know, a 5-minute intermediate high. Break even right there. All right, 15 second again. We'll watch it on the 15 second and place this order, and I'm just gonna auto break even right there. Price 15, 110.50. I'm just gonna throw in 110 because if we take 110, we should take 110.50. All right, let's watch this play out. Okay. We should just run here now. I'll follow this displacement. Like, there is no reason for us to really come back down here and trade below. But if we do end up using this little order block right here, I'm okay with that too. So I'm not going to go break even yet just because of that. Okay, break even right there because we did tap that 5 minute. Okay, bang, nice. I like this trade. I know I said I wasn't going to take anything on the 15 second right here, but I do really like this trade. If we didn't take out this accumulation zone right here with this 930 wick, it would have been like A++, but still we have 2 solid swings to come back to, targeting the 930 wick that led us down into this 30 minute. I like to think about, again, as I said, trading as what is more high resistance, my stop loss or my take profit. In this case, I think everybody can agree an intermediate low inside of a 30 minute is going to be a lot higher resistance and a bullish trend than a 5 minute intermediate high that 930 opened into. So your stop loss is going to be more protected and overall be more likely to go come up and take that. Not much more to be said right there. Again, if not much changes, like I took this trade and it played out 5 minutes into the session. We will go through and go log all this data though. So PO3, 930 rating. I would say that this is like an A-ish trade. We do have our high time frame key level. We have true manipulation. We have this strong close. We have like somewhat of an accumulation zone to target. We just took it pre-market. But either way, it is still low resistance, like lower resistance that we're targeting. You could argue this being high resistance versus high resistance, but even in that case, it's not really like you're targeting high resistance on high time frame. It's just low time frame high resistance. So like this 30 minute is going to be more high time frame, high resistance. Model, it is a Kant. Entry time frame was on the 15 second. DOL, just a 1-to-1 right there. Targeting high time frame alignments. We did long that 1-to-1. Stop loss was 18 points. I'm just gonna write 18 for both. We did win that trade. Notes, I liked this trade a lot. Didn't want to be on the 15 second, but still liked the structure enough to take it. Tapped into a 30 minute with true manipulation and then got a long with a swing and a 5 minute intermediate high to target. 30 minute was high time frame, high resistance, while 5 minute intermediate high was low time frame. I don't know if I would really call that 5 minute high resistance because of the fact that it's so low time frame and it's just a 930 wick tapping into this. Like, it doesn't carry a lot of significance high time frame, but I am still going to journal it as high resistance because it is technically high resistance versus high resistance. Overall bullish though, and led into distribution out of the 30 minute. All right, psych. A lot of the time you can't really have psych journaled on backtesting. Like, I'm just sitting here filming a video. My psych isn't really going to be cooked. I wouldn't be filming if my psych was cooked. So just going to be writing fire for psych. You know, if nothing's wrong with it, I just write fire. So now for all these, CISD, do we have a CISD? On our entry, no, we do not. ES confirmation, yes. Heavy displacement. Would I consider this heavy displacement? Yes, I would. I would consider that heavy displacement. Ooh, LR to target. This is kind of like an iffy one because it's more of like a quantity of how much LR do we have leading to the target. I would say that this is LR though. Like, just having this swing is kind of convicting for me. If we didn't have this swing, I probably wouldn't have taken this trade. But because of that swing, I'm going to consider this LR to target. SMT, no SMT. Yes, we had true manipulation. And did we turtle soup? No, we did not. All right. And then we take our high time frame post trade picks. Take that 15-second screenshot. Again, if nothing really changed on the high time frame, I just take it on the low time frame that matters. So we include all these right here and this 5 minute, and we're just gonna be doing one trade a day for this series because that's how I trade in live market. I wouldn't want to be changing anything about that. And notable observations. For my notable observations for this one, it's really just the fact that I don't trade on the 15-second, like right next to market open. So 15-second Judas. What else was there? You know, like kind of high resistance versus high resistance. High resistance. More like low time frame, high resistance versus high time frame, high resistance. Anything else notable about this trade? Not necessarily, no. So that should be good. Improvements. What improvements can I make off this trade? I think it was a really good trade. You could argue going break even here isn't worth it, but I would still like to go break even there just because of the fact that I took a 15-second and this is a 5 minute. So this does have a lot more power than the 15-second, right? This 5 minute intermediate high. So I'm still going to stand on a break even right there. And I'm just going to write X for the improvements right there. And for the title, I'm going to just title this one. Can I please click the title? Thank you. We're going to title this one just 15-second Judas because I don't normally take 15-second Judas swings. All right. On to the next day. I'm probably just going to do like 3 or 4 days, to be honest, right here. This video is already 26 minutes for 2 days. Yeah, so I'm probably just going to do 1 or 2 more days. And then... So daily, do we take out this previous week high? We still have not taken out this previous week high, so still going to be a draw for me. Previous week high up here. ES just still looks bullish. I mean, obviously we could be drawing to this previous week high. That's the most likely thing. I don't know why I held caps lock right there. Previous week high. All right. Daily, just this new day opening gap from the contract switch. 4 hour, kind of starting to chop high time frame. We did end up taking out that data wick yesterday, but we SMT that got a reaction off of it. Let's see if there's anything right over here. So at this point, it looks like we're starting to disrespect bullish. I would be expecting, honestly, this new week opening gap right here, because this is still going to be a strong draw. I think previous week high is going to be a stronger draw than a new week opening gap, but I'm still going to be leaning a little bit more bearish here just because the fact that this 30 minute looks like it's going to be getting disrespected. It's going to be a little bit more reactional here though. We do have this nice 30 minutes to go take a trade out of on both assets. So I'm going to mark this one out as a key level. 30 minute intermediate fair value gap. Same thing over here. 30 minute fair value gap. All right. And then I'm going to mark out this these wicks down here. These are equal lows into this new week opening gap. Equal lows and log. And over here. All right, what are we doing? New week opening gap is much lower over here. All right. And then our new week opening gap is, ooh, wait, am I missing something? No. Yes, no. Where's our new week opening gap? There it is. All right, I don't know where that went. Okay, 15, no, not 15 minute. New week opening gap. All right. Okay, hop onto this again. And let's hop onto the 4 hour and take our screenshots. So, okay. Chart's bugging out right now. This doesn't have any significance. All right. So again, what am I looking for coming into the day? I'm going to be a little bit more reactional today, just simply because of the fact that NQ doesn't really have a whole lot to work with on the high time frame. We very well could be working with something that leads us to that new week opening gap and then either use that as a key level, really just use it as a condition, because if we use it as a key level, that's fine. If we don't use it as a key level, that's also fine. We can just go fill it. But I would be expecting that to get hit sometime somewhat soon. This is going to be the Wednesday in June high time frame. There we go. Get that 4 hour in there. Get this 1 hour in here. Bang. Get this 30 minute in here. Bang. And then get this 15 minute in here. We do have a lower 15 minute. I probably wouldn't want to use it though, because then we just have this open 30 at my stop. I am going to mark it out, but I'm most likely not going to end up using it. Unless we get like an insane reaction out of it and ES taps into that 30. It's probably about the only situation I would use it, because we would still need that true manipulation. And if ES doesn't tap that 30, then it's kind of cooked. This is an FOMC day, it looks like too. Yeah, so this is FOMC, so I'm expecting a lot more chop, but I'm still going to journal it anyway. I still journal FOMC days just to kind of get a feel for them. Sometimes I still trade FOMC AM. I've noticed through my backtesting, I still most of the time can get decent setups here. So it's gonna be waiting. FOMC later in the day. Looking high time frame bullish, but low time frame a little more bearish. Could be looking for new week opening gap and then using as a condition. LR leading to new week opening gap, high time frame on NQ. ES has more key levels before new week opening gap to use as conditions, but would love to see a Judas off of both assets taking the 30-minute. All right, so here we go. Let's see what market open gives us. Okay, so we tap this 15. We don't tap this 30 though, so I'm not going to be pointing any attention towards this down candle. Doesn't seem like too much here. Coming back up, we take that 15-minute, we take that 30. So here, I'm not even going to hop on the seconds time frame because this is not something I would want to be shorting into right here. Like I would want to see more generation of some structure right here. Even though we do have, you know, this nice little stop on right here, and we have probably a nice little 30-second, 15-second, whatever inversion. This is not something I want to be shorting into. I would want to wait for some more LR to develop. Okay, so yeah, we take that 30-minute on both assets. Let's see. I'm going to scale down a little bit here. Probably wouldn't be open to taking a 15-second. I do want to see what it looks like though. Okay, so 15-second, this looks like really nice LR, right? But you scale up to like the 2-minute, it's just gonna, oh no, maybe not. 5 minutes. Okay, so we have that 5-minute gap lower. Do we have anything up here or down here that we're distributing off of? So ES is starting to flip this hourly. We could end up still being bullish here, I'm not gonna lie. We are inside of this 30-minute on both assets, so before I take anything, I would want to see 10 a.m. close, to be honest. Is this data? We do have data over here. Hold on, that changes a lot. I should have been checking the news. Okay, so we do have data over here. Again, I'll pull it up and show, but most of the time, if you see an 8:30 wick like this, you can assume it's data. Where is this? 2 p.m. Wednesday? I'm assuming it was yellow folder or orange folder because I only have those two turned on, but it is definitely data. All right, bang, let's see. I'm not gonna be taking this 15-second here. I mean, there's not even a 15-second. If there was like a 5-second up here, yeah, 5-second. I'm just not confident on the 5-second. I've never taken 5-second in my life. I'm not gonna be taking this 15-second though. I don't really hate it. Like if you want to take that, I guess. I just don't really have the most conviction. It just feels like catching a falling knife to me. Like you're shorting the first down close candle with a lack of structure. I don't really love it. Especially after we have data above too. Like I just don't really love it. Anything here? Do we open that 5? Okay, so we open this 5. ES is still reacting off of this 1 hour. So this can still be considered a sponsored 5-minute. So if we get a trade off of this with nice structure, I'd be down to take it. I don't love this fat wick that we're printing down though. I would want to see a real manipulation leg here. Yeah, I can't really do anything about that. I do think we're going to run to data though now. Yeah. If I got a trade right here, like if we had better structure right here for an entry, like maybe if this wasn't a wick and this was a body, I'm gonna turn off this magnet. If this wasn't a wick down here and this was a body and then we got like a 15-second inversion right here, I would be very down to go take that up to data. But now we've just taken data on both assets. What am I expecting? Kind of just going back to expecting previous week high now. We're obviously reacting off of ES respecting the gap. Previous week high is 45 points away. That's a big draw to be so close to. So just going to be expecting bullishness now. Like we do have this internal buy side right here. Oh, let me throw on my magnet again. We do have this internal buy side right here, and we already took it on ES, I believe. Yes, we did. So I'm going to delete this data line now, and I would just want to see a retrace into a 15-minute plus right here, just because that 5-minute sponsored already took us to our objective of data. We're probably just going to run to this previous week high though. Yeah, we take that previous week high. So now at this point, I would honestly probably be off for the day. Oh no, that's internal buy side. Sorry, never mind. Okay, I'm not off for the day yet because we do still have previous week high intact right above. ES looks really nice where we have accumulation. I don't think we have a high time frame gap over here though on ES. No. If we open this 15-minute though and we get some nice structure out of this 15-minute, I'd be down to go take that. Okay, so where's this 15-minute open at? 15-minute right here. 15-minute fair value gap. 15-minute fair value gap. All right, let's see if we get anything here. Seems like my answer is going to be no. 10:45 opens. I'm kind of starting to lose faith in everything here because we've just pumped since market open. We've pumped, I mean, if you want to consider this part of market open. Dude, I'm turning off this magnet. This is driving me nuts. We've pumped 124 points. This is when we were at 15,000. So it'd be like today pumping 200 points on an FOMC morning, sorry. I wouldn't really be expecting much from here though, because we're so close to previous week high. We would not get a retrace in 15 minutes plus an inversion that would take us up there. So I'm gonna play out the rest of the market just so I can get the screenshot, but I wouldn't really be taking anything here on live market. All right, here we go, end of session. So again, on no trade days, I still like to go take screenshots, just, you know, have it all journaled down. It's never a bad thing to go have more data. It literally takes an extra 2 minutes per day. It's very worth it. Like journaling is the best investment you're gonna get. And also think about it, like if you wanted to make money and you didn't want to improve at trading, you can go work a job for all the time that you're backtesting and you would get paid a lot more than you get paid for backtesting, because backtesting you get paid nothing. And if you were to go spend even 5 hours a week on backtesting and not journal it, you're basically throwing like $100 out the window, even if you were just working for minimum wage job, you know, 5 hours a week, $20 an hour. Like you need to think about journaling as an investment rather than a waste of time, because journaling is really where you start to build that advantage of like, I'm making money, and even though it's not going to be right now, I am doing this to go improve my income. So make sure you're journaling your trades. Big thing right there. I don't know why my charts are bugging out, but here we go. 929 candle. Journal this one. I'm not going to be trading PM of this. Sometimes I would hop on for FOMC PM. Not going to be hopping on for PM. For my notes for today, really just FOMC AM. Pumped and then started to stall. Bias. I don't even know. What was my bias? FOMC later in the day, high time frame bullish, low time frame a little more bearish. Yeah. High time frame bias still likely to play out. Probably bad PA from FOMC AM. Also had 8:30 news I didn't see. Anything else here? Not really, no. All right, on to the next day. This is gonna be the last day that I'm gonna backtest because this is already gonna be like an hour-long video. I don't need it to be like 2 hours. Yeah, this is already 40 minutes right here. So what am I looking at today? Did we take that previous week high? Let's see that first. ES did not take it. NQ did take that one. Did it take this one? magnet. Didn't take this previous week high, so still going to be drawn up to this previous week high. ES, again, I'm just going to have the same previous week high marked out because this is going to be like a weekly objective. It's not going to be accomplished in a day. Daily still looks pretty bullish. 4 hour. We put in this fat wick, I'm assuming from FOMC. Don't love to see that. We might be, trending more bearish here now, going down to this. Do we have a 2 hour on ES? No 2 hour right there. We do have a 2 hour over on NQ though, but we have a 1 hour anyway, so it doesn't really affect anything. So considering that this is going to be news from FOMC, if we didn't already take that, I'm going to be a little bit more concerned. Like I would want to see the 1 minute right here and see if we ever took that. Where is it at? Wednesday, I need to see 2 p.m. Is this really data? No. Oh, this is Thursday, sorry. All right, Wednesday, 2 p.m. Do we take this? I would say yes. I would say that there's no data intact right here, so it's just going to be sell-side liquidity at this point. But again, still going to be very good sell-side liquidity to go draw down to. So we kind of have a draw on each side here. This 4 hour is going to be a lot more plausible for ES to be taking, just because previous week high on ES is still very far away compared to how close this is. And I would really just want to see, like we're inside of this 1 hour right here. I'm assuming ES has like a 30 minute, maybe 15 minute, 30 minute, whatever. So this is going to be a 30 minute. This is going to be a 2 hour intermediate high on NQ. On ES, we have this 30 minute intermediate high. I would like to go see us sweep this intermediate high and then continue down to sell side, just because of the fact that sell side is so close, and I'm assuming that this is going to get hit and be an agreed upon draw on liquidity. Because this 4 hour, even if we're going to start flipping bearish here and never go take that previous week high, or not never, but not take the previous week high anytime soon, we're going to go need this 4 hour down here anyway to go send us back up to previous week high, because we've started to lose momentum. Going to be leaning more bearish on the day just because we're disrespecting this hourly gap and respecting this 30 minute gap. And yeah, let's get to the journaling. So boom, click off Journal Plus, and we throw on the bananas here. And for journaling my live trades too, I still do the icon thing. I just throw on a new icon, whatever I'm feeling that day. I'm not sure if I already said that, but I just throw on a new icon, whatever I'm feeling that day of live, because it's not like you have multiple live sessions a day unless you're trading AM and PM. But even then, unless you're sitting down, like I kind of just consider a session for me how long I've been sitting down for without doing something else to go distract myself. So if I'm sitting down and backtesting for 4 hours, and that's all one session, but if I backtest for 2 hours, take a half-hour break, then come back and I feel rejuvenated, then it's a whole new session. Back into this though, 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Bang, 15 minutes. Bang. I believe this is data too. Let's see if we took it. Because I did see the little news thing right there. But it does look like we took it, so it's not a big deal. Same thing on ES, not a big deal. All right. So let's write out my daily bias for the day. What am I looking at? Oh, I didn't include a 5 minute here. Oops. All right, 5 minute screenshots taken. So low time frame bearish using NWOG as a condition on NQ and the lower 4 hour as a condition for ES. Would like to see an open high low close on both assets for their respective intermediate high. Sell side liquidity is from FOMC earlier. It's not data because the wicks close to 2 p.m. were taken, but still a strong liquidity pool. Yeah, that's really all I have to write. All right, let's see what we get here. I would ideally, again, like to see a Judas off of this intermediate high and off of this intermediate high, but we'll see if we get anything. Okay, we take that. I'm gonna hop on the 30, ooh, not the 30 minute, the 30-second right here. Hello? Oh my gosh, we have a 15-second. Oh, but it's invalid. Do I still want to take this? This is just like LR that we tapped into. Like we did tap into a 4-minute intermediate low here. 3-minute, we tapped into a 3-minute gap. I'm just gonna wait here. I'm gonna play it out on the 15-second, but I'm just gonna wait here because I think we very well could get another stop raid. If we do end up getting this like 2-3 minute inversion, depending on the closes, I'll probably end up taking it if we don't get the stop raid. But right here, oof, not taking it. Oh my gosh, that's brutal because now this 3-minute just closed and this is a whole new 3-minute candle. Would I love to pre-fire this? Yes. Am I going to? No. Do I think that this is going to absolutely run lower? Yes. Would I rather take a continuation here? Also yes. Okay, now we get this SMT stop raid. If we get a 30-second off of this or a 15-second off of this, I wouldn't really hate it. But at this point, I would want to see NQ continue higher again because we have so much accumulation right here. Yeah, here we go. Come up higher. Get a more obvious manipulation leg. Okay, we get that now. 9:45 is opening soon. We probably have like a 1 or a 2 minute here. More than that. I'm going to play this out on the 1 minute now just because of the fact that like I really like all this LR down here. If we get like an inversion through all these gaps, whatever highest time frame is it a... So currently it's going to be a 3-minute highest time frame probably, but if we end up getting like that 2-minute something, whatever it may be, or we just don't get an entry, that works too. At this point, I'm flipping a little bit more bullish because what are we doing? Why do we need to go rally so high? Print a fat wick lower. 10 a.m. opens. Gives another stop raid, but also remember 10 a.m. is the form of a new 4-hour candle, and now it looks like we are disrespecting this 1 hour. So with this new information I've been given, now I'm bullish again up to this previous week high. I'm going to mark out buy side liquidity right here because now this is something you have to take into account. So do we form any gaps? We have this 15-minute right here, so I'm going to take this and move it over here and change it to a 15-minute fair value gap. Same thing with this one, 15-minute fair value gap. And I would like to see that get hit and then take us to buy side liquidity. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen. Okay, do we open a new 15 minutes? We do on ES, not on NQ, so we would still need this lower 15. Took previous week high now, so now I'm not 100% confident in being bullish. Like this previous week high was really a strong draw for me to be bullish, and even though we did take it, we do still have draws on ES, but it's just like at this point we've rallied so much and had so much movement today. Like if we hop on the 15-minute, this is 9:30 right here. So from 9:30 low, we've pushed 160 points. Again, for live market, that's close to 300 points. Like once you see a 300-point move on live market, a lot of the time conviction starts to fade, especially once we near end of session. Play this out, but unless we get some A++ low time frame structure, I'm probably not going to be taking anything here. You have this 2-minute, but it's not really amazing. We don't have any swings leading up to this. Like this is just kind of, I don't know. I don't love it. I think it'll play out, but it's not good enough for me to take. Yeah, it plays out. Would have been break even, honestly, because once ES takes that 15, you gotta go break even. And this is your entry candle, so break even right there. Okay. Now we get a stop rate of this with a few more swings. I kind of regret playing out this candle, but either way, you do have a few swings leading up to this, but we did just take this 15-minute on ES, so now it's just kind of like we don't really need to retrace back down to here because we've already taken that liquidity. So now I'm just going to play out the rest of the session and take a screenshot. And as you can see, this is most likely going to fail. We'll never know, but it's most likely going to fail just because of the fact that there's no reason that we have to go return down now. But another no trade day. I hope I titled my other no trade day. If not, I'll go back through after the video and title it. But again, this is going to be like a series, so if y'all enjoy this, let me know. Enjoy the journaling and whatnot, let me know. This is just kind of me going through, like, this is exactly how I backtest. Obviously, I don't talk to myself, but apart from that, like, this is my internal dialogue of backtesting and journaling and how I've seen the most improvement. Again, I would recommend everybody to go trade, or not trade, everybody to go journal your trades, because if you're not journaling your trades, you're wasting your time. Go make money somewhere else. Not that you're never going to be successful trading, you know, going to be a lot less likely, but if you're going to spend that time and not journal your trades, it's not going to be very useful. Don't waste it. Go actually make some money and just wait for a live market. Any notes for today? Honestly, not really. We just kind of rallied and then did a whole lot of nothing. Took previous week high. I don't know. Only really note here is like bias flipped after inversing my key, after inversing key level. Previous week high was taken. That's really it. Notable observations, inversed, key level, no trades, improvements, X, and psych is pretty fire. All right, video is almost an hour long already. I'm gonna try and go a little bit faster for the next few backtesting days of the series, but like again, I don't really want to be posting hour-and-a-half long videos. I would rather split that up into like 2 45-minute or 50-minute videos, whatever it may be. Here's the journal. So 4 days, the only trade I took was the 15-second Judas swing. It is pretty low frequency, and there were a few trades that I did call out, but not good enough for me to want to take. We did have FOMC this week and then contract switch, so it's a pretty rough week to be trading and to go start off the series. So a little bit slower of a video, sorry about that, but hopefully next week will be a little bit better. I might end up doing Friday off camera just so we can come into the new week, like actually having a new week of price action, but if not, you'll know. Appreciate y'all sticking around for this long. Again, if anybody wants this journal template, let me know. It's literally just Ron's journal template with colors added and like whatever, you know, like I threw in some colors and some logos and made it look pretty. But if anybody wants this journaling template, let me know. I got it over here, journal template data. And yeah, appreciate you guys sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one.